performing badly. We forget in sports we play. Some will lose and some will win. So there's no need for the fighting. I know the bad mountain using every medium.
WEFM, the fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WeFM 99.9 is on now.
Alrighty, so the time here in SVG, it is 7:45, and at this time we have commentary from Mr. Kingsley DeFreitas, who is already on the line. So Kingsley, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. I pay attention to Pigeon's presentation this morning with a certain level of interest. I noticed that he was very brief with his commentary concerning the new member of the ULP, which is going to run in Kingston. But I don't know if you can remember, we had one called Senator Brown. He did show some interest and became a senator. But today you have to ask yourself where he is. Then we have Minerva Glasgow, who won 3 elections the last time in the ULP. We asked where she is. I know she has a profession, but I've not been hearing about her. Then we have Mr. Sutherland, who showed interest up to recently when he used to sit on the Star Sweet beat and praising the ULP and its exploit over the last 23 years. And then we had Elvis Charles. I don't know where he is. And I say that to say that when you're going to get involved in politics, you have to think about the long-term impact on your life. And those forces I mentioned, I want to forces think about them and remember them for what they were briefly as senators are just potential and candidate that they were. And what Pigeon didn't say is that he's saying to Mr. I think I can't remember his name. What's his name? The young man who's
Marvin Fraser.
Marvin Fraser. Like you say you don't know him, but I know him around the Agia airport. I think he used to work in the Mustique area and he used to travel quite often. And he seems to be a relatively good person when you're speaking to him. But I hope he consider where he's going to be on Central Kingston against the Major League who was once a senator and transfer himself to be elected parliamentarian. And I hope he don't find himself lingering in the thoughts of people who thought that he may be a good politician. But running against Major League is a discouragement. It's like somebody tell me that they're going to run against Ralph Gonsalves in the next general election or support to Caesar. I think those persons who are planning to run against those that I mentioned have no chance in winning a seat. So you have to ask yourself, is Mr. Charles making a good choice? I can remember Jomo Thomas saying to Minister Brewster, they referred to him, especially Candyman referred to Mr. Brewster as Dr. Orlando. I never hear Mr. Brewster saying that he's a doctor, but Jomo did remind him that your long-term investment in life is important with a profession. And one of these days, I want to be alive to see when the people sit to Mr. Brewster, we are enough for you, what he's going to fall back and do. Because look at what's happened to Senator Brown. I don't even hear him. He used to be the good kind of guy and go into Parliament and try to frustrate the NDP in opposition. Minerva Glasgow worked at the NS for quite some time, and I understand that she's a lawyer. Mr. Sutherland is to preach for the ULP, the best ever sliced bread, and you don't hear them. And when somebody's doing a commentary and they're being brief like Pigeon was just sending a message to Mr. Marvin Charles or whatever you mean, boy, that's a brief thing. Think about what you're doing before you do it. And as Pigeon said, that's my rant for today, and I hope all have a wonderful day. I want inside the studio, I want outside the studio. I'll have a great day.
All right, you as well, Pigeon. Thank you. Kingsley, sorry. Thank you, Kingsley.
All right.
All right. All righty, so that was today's commentary with Kingsley DeFreitas, and he was throwing out a question. Past ULP candidates, where are they now? All right. And I suppose that is one of the things where you see people around and you wonder like what are they doing, after they put themselves up for elections, you wonder what it is that they're doing with their lives, especially if they were not necessarily in the public's eye before. And I suppose this is why that song for Lucky Dube always comes into my head, or a light in a Lucky Dube song that says, "Be good to the people on your way up the ladder because you meet them on your way down." And every time I think about that, I think of politicians. Every time I hear that, I think about politicians, right? And I'm saying it in the context where, these persons have put themselves forward as candidates, and some of them were not successful. And this whole thing about trying to cut old style on people, when you think that you are in the current swing, when you think that you're currently popular, you think that you're currently happening, or whatever young people listen now, you think that you're it, so you're the it thing, all right. You know, Persons at that time would be looking to galvanize votes and be friendly with people, trying to get their support, etc. But sometimes some of these persons aren't successful, and then they come back down and they're common folks like the rest of us, So yeah, I suppose it's just for us to be decent people all around, because we just never know when things might change in our lives, or the goals and aspirations that we have don't come through. All right. So yeah. Dianna, any thoughts?
Okay. Well, as Kingsley was talking, there's something interesting came to me now. I've been hearing it all this time. When persons are running for certain constituencies, you would say, "Why they don't stand a chance because that is for NDP or that is for ULP." And then I couldn't help but think about your question again, where you ask if we vote for party or if we vote for country, because it's interesting that there are some places that we just feel, yeah, boy, only NDP is going to win that seat, only Europe is going to win that seat. And I wonder what that says about us, as usual, as we've been asking, what that says about us, and in the way that we vote, how is it that, we just figure this seat belongs to this party. It doesn't belong to who we think is most suitable, who is the best, the best person for the job for this. We just know that this belongs to this. We like he, and he been there, so we stick into that. That was interesting to me. Interesting one to me. As you said, do good to people because you never know what's going to happen afterwards. To be very honest with you, it kind of went over my head. I didn't really look so deep into the fact that these young people were going to politics, and if they don't win, we don't know what's going to happen to them afterwards. I really didn't pay that any serious thought, but that's interesting.
Yeah. What I also found interesting now, I was going to ask Kingsley at the time as well too. You have somebody who's coming up against another candidate. Let's say you have the Lee Cox, you have Daniel Cummins. There are persons, Dr. Friday. I'm just put him in the mix as well. There are persons who would say, well, you don't want to run in these constituencies because you're not going to win. And I'm here having don't we believe in the David and Goliath story anymore? Don't we believe that, the smaller person or the person coming out and possibly be victorious, you can't necessarily go into it with a defeated attitude, because you just never know if persons are voting along the party lines, right? And they're thinking that this is the party that they want to win, and in this case, the ULP. They just might vote for this candidate because they want for the ULP to win, and not necessarily voting for the constituency rep, So, I mean, with everything, you have to put your foot in the ring. You don't know how things are going to turn out. And as far as I'm concerned, what is for you will be for you. All right. If God says that you are the one who's supposed to become the elected representative for the constituency, then his will shall be done, which is HIS, HIS, his will shall be done. All right. So yeah, let's people have to try. You have to try, and you just never know. This new candidate might happen to win by one vote. One vote. All right. I say nothing else, but it could just happen to win by one vote. All right. So let's encourage them to participate. All right. So we have somebody calling. Good morning, Kojo.
Good morning. Let me put some nuggets to half of what Kingsley said. The UL NDP won 15 seats one time, all. And everybody might have said, that's it. But they end up losing seats until they lose power, right?
True.
So, I mean, when you put it like, oh, you can't run against this person because that seat is show seat and that seat is show. I don't think anything is what is show. You can't simply say it's shown. You can't say like, okay, I'm a qualified doctor and a position is open. And because you think you're a more qualified person, you've been there before, that somebody be younger than you coming in can't take away your job or move you over, you know what I mean? Because then there will be no movement, no mobility, no nothing. Life is stagnant. So I don't understand when people say, oh, show seat, show this, you know? Yeah. I remember when West Kingston was Labour. And when Rennie Batiste won, she had it for 2 sessions. So nobody is cemented in any position, in any corner. I don't know why people think so.
And this is too why politicians or candidates can't become complacent. You can't assume that because persons were on your side before means that they are going to turn out and vote for you, you know? So you have to put in the work as if you are a brand new entrant into the political arena. So that's another thing to add there as well.
Roleza, every election is a brand new election.
But we hope that some people see it that way.
No, but it's a fact. Every election is a brand new election. And people must realize, in St. Vincent, you have 15 elections on the same day. It's 15, actually, well, let me say sometimes it's 33 or 34, it all depends on the independents and the other political parties. But each major party put up one person each for a constituency. So those are new. That's a new election every time the election comes. Brand new election. You can't rely on what happened 4 or 5 years ago. Yes, I might be a ULP man, but there might be a candidate that he and I go to school together. And even though I'm a ULP man, I might say, "Boy, I know that man long time. I'm gonna vote for him." You understand?
I do. I agree. Yes, I agree. And in this case, you will be voting for candidates and not party, because you right. There we go.
So some people do vote for party, and some people do vote for the person they like.
Yes.
So you can't simply say it's concrete in a bag. No, that's why you have to put the effort.
Agreed.
All right.
Let's go.
Another thing I don't understand.
What? No.
He never mentioned nothing but NDP candidates at all who run and never show up again in life. But all of you, some folks only look on one side.
But coach, you know that Kingsley looks on one side, so why is it surprising to you? You know this. Well, let me see if he brings the other side tomorrow, right? Let me see if he questions where the past NDP candidates are. He ain't coming?
He ain't coming.
We're going to see. All right, coach, thanks. Later. All right. All right, so that was our commentary there with regards to Kingsley's commentary on where are the past ULP candidates, where are they now. So Dianna, any final thoughts from you?
Just to say, I can't remember if it was you or Kojo who mentioned it, but I'm talking about the newer candidate working harder than the older candidate. I like that, and I think that's definitely how they should be thinking, because the newer person, you might sit down there for however long thinking that, yeah, but this is my seat. I don't need to do anything. I've been winning all this time, and then somebody new comes in and they put in the work, and somebody says, you know what? I think I'm going to switch. I think this person is, the best representative for my constituency, and there you have it. and they might choose to, swing over to that side.
And I think another thing as well too is that there are some politicians or some candidates who would say, well, I'm not going to talk to these set of persons because these set of persons are always voting for the other side.
Like,
You have to engage both sides, whether or not you are sure that they are going to vote for you. The fact that they're not even seeing you is even more reason for them to not vote for you. Right?
Exactly.
You have to engage both sides, whether or not you strongly believe, because all it takes is, that one vote who might say, okay, well, you know what? He or she actually came and had a conversation with me. I can see their thoughts, I can see their plans, I can see their vision. Never mind that my family may have voted along this particular color line all these years. All these years. I believe that this person can make a difference, and there you go. You might end up having that person's vote. So you can't vote a certain set of people just because you're making the assumption that they are going to vote for somebody else. You have to engage everybody, especially if you're looking to be the constituency rep for different areas. It's everybody's opinion and everybody's thoughts you have to get, whether or not they agree with you or not. You have to at least listen to everybody, so
that what you just said, it makes me wonder how some of these politicians look at politics, and how they look at themselves in politics. Because I'm thinking, and everyone knows I'm not going to be a politician, but if I want to be a politician, I'm considering running for politics and I want to win, I think that I would want to appeal to everybody. I want to be in everybody's good favor, whether I know you're voting for me or not.
Yep. All right, so we're heading out of this segment at this time. And along with Dianna and myself today, we would also have Doc in studio with us, fresh off the plane. I joking, I ain't sure if he's fresh off the plane, but anyhow, right? So the timer in SVG is 8:02, and our time check came to you with the compliments of New Haven Funeral Home.
Death is a fact of life. Even though death is a fact of life, that doesn't make